Welcome to our today's story of the funniest story of the wise monk. Once upon a time, in a serene and picturesque village nestled deep within the lush, rolling hills of Japan, there lived a monk named Kazuki. Kazuki was not your typical monk. He had an uncanny ability to infuse humor into everything he did. His laughter was contagious, and his wisdom was legendary. He was often sought after by villagers and travelers alike for his unique brand of motivation and Zen teachings. One sunny morning, as the village came alive with the songs of birds and the gentle rustling of leaves, a young man named Hiroshi arrived at the village's ancient monastery. Hiroshi was in search of meaning and purpose in his life. He had heard of Kazuki's wisdom and humor and hoped to find guidance from the jovial monk. Kazuki welcomed Hiroshi with a warm smile and invited him to sit in the tranquil garden behind the monastery. The garden was a masterpiece of balance and beauty, with carefully manicured bonsai trees, a flowing stream, and vibrant flowers. "Welcome, Hiroshi," Kazuki began. "Before we begin, tell me, why have you come seeking wisdom today?" Hiroshi, feeling a little nervous, replied, "I feel lost, Kazuki. I've been wandering through life without a clear direction. I don't know who I am or what I want." Kazuki nodded empathetically and said, "The search for meaning and purpose, my friend. It's a journey we all must take at some point. Let's start by finding some clarity." He handed Hiroshi a cup of tea and continued, "Imagine you are a boat, adrift in the vast ocean of life. Right now, it seems you have no destination, no map to guide you. But every journey begins with a single step." Hiroshi sipped his tea thoughtfully. "But how do I find that first step? How do I discover my purpose?" Kazuki chuckled heartily, causing Hiroshi to look up in surprise. "My dear Hiroshi, the journey to purpose begins with the quest for inner peace. Let me tell you a story to illustrate this." Hiroshi leaned forward, eager to hear the monk's tale. "Once upon a time," Kazuki began, "there was a man named Kaito. Kaito was a restless soul, always searching for something, but he could never quite find it. He traveled to distant lands, climbed towering mountains, and crossed treacherous seas, all in search of purpose and meaning." Hiroshi listened intently, captivated by Kazuki's storytelling. One day, while wandering through a dense forest, Kaito came across a wise old turtle. The turtle was perched on a rock, basking in the sun's warmth. Kaito approached the turtle and asked, "Wise one, can you tell me the secret to finding my purpose in life?" The old turtle looked at Kaito with ancient eyes and replied, "My dear friend, your purpose is not something to be found out there in the world. It is hidden within you, like a precious gem waiting to be discovered. But to find it, you must first find inner peace." Hiroshi nodded, absorbing the wisdom of the story. Kaito was puzzled. Kazuki continued. He asked the turtle, "How do I find inner peace?" The turtle smiled and said, "You must learn to be still, my friend. Like the surface of a calm pond, your mind should become free of ripples and disturbances. Only in the stillness can you hear the whispers of your heart and the guidance of your soul." Hiroshi could feel the weight of the words sinking in. "But how do I achieve that stillness?" he asked. Kazuki's eyes twinkled mischievously. My young friend, that is where the humor comes in. You see, Kaito, like many of us, thought that inner peace could be found through external pursuits. He thought he needed to climb higher mountains, cross rougher seas, and collect more experiences. But the turtle had a different idea." Hiroshi leaned in closer, curious to know the turtle's wisdom. The turtle said, "To find inner peace, you must start by letting go of what no longer serves you. Just as a tree sheds its old leaves to make way for new growth, you must shed your attachments and fears. Only then can you embrace the stillness within." Kaito, eager to follow the turtle's advice, asked, "But what should I let go of?" The turtle replied with a chuckle, "Start by letting go of your need to control everything. Life is like a river, and you are but a leaf floating upon its surface. Allow the current to take you where it may, and trust that it knows the way." Hiroshi couldn't help but smile. Kazuki's storytelling had a way of making the profound seem so simple. Kaito nodded and said, "I understand. I will let go of my need for control." And with that, he sat down beside the turtle, closed his eyes, and began to meditate. Kazuki paused, allowing the story to sink in. Hiroshi sat in contemplation, feeling a sense of peace wash over him. After some time, Kazuki continued. Kaito opened his eyes, and to his surprise, he felt a deep sense of calm. It was as if a weight had been lifted from his shoulders. The forest around him seemed more vibrant, and he realized that the answers he sought were not out there, but right here, within himself. Hiroshi sighed, feeling a glimmer of hope. So, Kaito found his purpose by finding inner peace? Kazuki nodded and said, "Yes, my friend." When Kaito let go of the need to control and began to embrace the stillness within, he discovered his true calling. He became a teacher, guiding others on their own journeys to inner peace and purpose. Hiroshi smiled and said, "That's a beautiful story, Kazuki, but how do I begin my own journey to inner peace?" Kazuki clapped his hands together and said, "The most important question of all. Hiroshi, you start by taking small steps. Begin by finding moments of stillness in your daily life. It can be as simple as sitting quietly with a cup of tea, listening to the rustling leaves, or feeling the warmth of the sun on your face. Learn to be present in the moment, and the stillness will follow." Hiroshi nodded, feeling a newfound determination. "I will do that, Kazuki. Thank you for your wisdom." Kazuki patted Hiroshi on the back and said, "Remember, my friend, life is a journey, and the path to inner peace is a lifelong one. Embrace the humor in your journey, for laughter is the music of the soul." As Hiroshi left the monastery that day, he felt a sense of hope and purpose he hadn't felt in a long time. He knew that his journey to inner peace would be filled with both challenges and laughter, but he was ready to embrace it all. One sunny afternoon, as Hiroshi and Kazuki sat in the monastery garden, Hiroshi shared an amusing incident from his recent travels. They both burst into laughter, the sound echoing through the serene surroundings. Kazuki wiped a tear of joy from his eye and said, Hiroshi, you have truly embraced the spirit of our lessons. Laughter is a reminder that life should be enjoyed, not endured." Hiroshi nodded, his heart filled with gratitude. "I can't thank you enough, Kazuki. Your wisdom and humor have transformed my life." Kazuki smiled and replied, "Remember, my friend, the journey to inner peace is ongoing. It's not about reaching a destination but about savoring each step along the way. And always, always, keep laughter in your heart." Over the years, Hiroshi became known as the Laughing Sage, sharing the teachings of Kazuki and spreading joy wherever he went. He traveled from village to village, helping others discover their own paths to inner peace and purpose through laughter and mindfulness. As for Kazuki, he continued to tend to the monastery garden, telling stories to those who sought his wisdom. His laughter remained infectious, and his heart remained as light as a feather. In that tranquil village of Kazuki and the wise old turtle, Hiroshi's own journey to inner peace and purpose began, a journey guided by the wisdom of a monk who knew that life's greatest lessons were often best learned with a smile. Years passed, and Hiroshi returned to the village periodically to seek Kazuki's guidance. Each visit deepened his understanding of inner peace, and he discovered that laughter truly was the key to maintaining balance in life. Kazuki's teachings were not only about finding purpose but also about living a life that was joyful and fulfilled. And so, in the picturesque village nestled within the hills of Japan, the legacy of Kazuki and the Laughing Sage lived on, a testament to the power of humor, mindfulness, and the journey to inner peace. The village became a destination not only for seekers of wisdom but also for those in search of a good laugh, knowing that in the midst of life's challenges, there was always room for a little laughter and a lot of love. As the sun set over the village, casting a warm, golden glow over the monastery garden, the laughter of Kazuki and his teachings echoed through the ages, reminding all who heard it that the path to inner peace was a joyful one, and that a single smile could light up the world.